President Biden's classified document investigation sparking concerns. How the president fired back at worries about his memories and how voters are polling on the issue as Election Day creeps closer.
Waiting on the storms this weekend, a new timeline so you can plan around them in First Warning Weather.
A Fort Worth homeowner facing charges after shooting at a door-to-door salesman. Why police are considering a hate crime charge for the homeowner.
Well, the White House is pushing back on the special counsel's report that takes aim at the president's memory issues, but doesn't charge him for his handling of classified documents at his home. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Daniel Marin.
I'm Avery Travis. Former President Trump, who faces federal charges in his classified documents case, is calling the decision not to charge Biden political. NBC's Alice Barr walks us through what is next.
Very much for making
President Biden meeting today with the German chancellor amid fresh fallout from the stunning special counsel report that found the president should not be charged for his handling of classified documents, but amplified serious concerns about what the report called his diminished faculties in advancing age. The White House counsel's office questioning the tactics.
You're left to wonder why this report spends time making gratuitous and inappropriate criticisms of the president.
A defiant President Biden spoke out last night.
My memory is fine.
Special counsel Robert Hur said our investigation uncovered evidence that President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency. But in explaining why no criminal charges are warranted, Hur noted that a jury would likely see Mr. Biden, quote, as a sympathetic, well-meaning and elderly man with a poor memory, even asserting that the president did not remember when his son Beau died.
How in the hell dare he raise that?
George Washington law professor Aram Gavor emphasizing how politics are overshadowing the legal points.
The relationship between the legal document and process and the politics, when you involve a current sitting president, is inescapable. It's an election year.
Former President Trump, who has pleaded not guilty to 40 federal criminal counts in his classified documents case, slammed the Biden decision as a two-tiered system of justice. But the Hur report notes that while, quote, Mr. Biden alerted authorities about the documents and cooperated with the investigation, Mr. Trump allegedly enlisted others to destroy evidence and then to lie about it. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And at a White House event today, Vice President Kamala Harris offered strong criticism of the special counsel report, calling it inaccurate and inappropriate.
The way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated, gratuitous. And so I will say that when it comes to the role and responsibility of a prosecutor in a situation like that, we should expect that there would be a higher level of integrity than what we saw.
Going in depth, the recent poll by NBC News showed voters have concerns about President Biden's age and mental fitness. The poll shows a combined 76% of voters surveyed are concerned about the president's mental and physical health. Meanwhile, 24% say they have either minor concerns or none at all. Breaking it down by party, 95% of Republican voters, 81% of independents, and 54% of Democrats say they're feeling shaky about Biden's fitness for another term in office. Now, the same poll found 61% of voters have concerns about former President Trump's multiple felony charges. And on Trump's mental and physical fitness, 48% say they have concerns.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to the weather now, taking a live look outside where cloudy skies have settled over downtown Austin.
All right, David Yeomans, what are we expecting here? I feel like it's a roller coaster we've been on lately.
I know, it is. It always is in Texas, right? We've had the clouds for several days, but finally they're going to start to produce some rain, unfortunately, this weekend when you might be planning to be outside. Let's go outside right now where we just have this filtered sunshine visible up in Georgetown. It's warm, it's muggy, 73 right now. Another unusually warm day on the Ewald Kubota cam. Radar is dry, so I'm not worried about rain for most of our evening plans, but there's a little boundary parked up in Burnett County, producing some little showers, no lightning or thunder, and they're kind of expected to deteriorate or dissipate over the next hour. Still, though, we'll be watching that area for any additional shower development today. Otherwise, it's just humid, a little bit of dry air out in the northern hill country, but the rest of us have humidity of 60, 70, 80%, and it's going to feel a little sweaty for wintertime for your Friday night plans. Coming up, you won't want to miss the new weekend rain timeline, including a slim severe weather threat. Also, a big improvement in the weather and a change to the forecast coming Sunday.
All right, David, thank you very much. Across Texas, police are still searching for a missing 1-year-old boy from Houston. Texas DPS says Noah Johnson may be with 38-year-old Camila Johnson. Take a look at those pictures. They say Noah was last seen wearing a navy shirt and flower print pants. The two are believed to be traveling in a white GMC Yukon with Texas plates. If you have any information, please call 911.
Military officials have identified the 5 Marines killed in a helicopter crash in Southern California earlier this week. They are 21-year-old Lance Corporal Donovan Davis, 23-year-old Sergeant Alec Langan, 27-year-old Benjamin Moulton, 26-year-old Captain Jack Casey, and 28-year-old Miguel Nava. The crew was conducting routine flight training at the time of the accident. This tragedy is still under investigation.
Well, Texas Land Commissioner Don Buckingham is headed to the Rio Grande Valley on Monday to tout the state's takeover of an island that was previously known for high criminal activity.
Our Monica Madden looks into the history of this disputed piece of land.
We've been able to gain access and take control of this piece of land that has been used by transnational criminal organizations for years.
Last September, Texas Land Commissioner Don Buckingham authorized Texas DPS to police and patrol Fronten Island. It's a 170-acre island in the Rio Grande and Starr County that state officials say has been under control by criminal groups for decades.
We have seen significant events that have taken place in Mexico between rival cartels, gun battles that have taken place in broad daylight, structures that we have seen along the riverbank in Mexico that have been used by the Mexican drug cartels that have cartel slogans on them, bullet holes in these buildings.
Buckingham says her office determined the island is Texas-owned land, citing her authority under state code.
As there is an absence of the federal government doing its job to secure our international border, we will step up and take their place.
DPS says activity on Fronten Island has calmed down since they started patrolling.
We will take this fight to these organizations and assume operational control.
Monica Madden, KXAN News.
And Commissioner Buckingham will hold a news conference in McAllen on Monday to talk about the state's efforts on Fronten Island. And her office says she will also be making a special announcement.
A Texas salesman is thanking his lucky stars as well as the tablet he was carrying after it stopped a bullet.
Fort Worth police have issued an arrest warrant for a homeowner who shot at the salesman while he was going door to door yesterday. Now, that man walked away without injuries after his tablet stopped the bullets. The homeowner could face a hate crime charge as well. The salesman, who did not want to be identified, says that shooter yelled a racial slur right before pulling the trigger.
He just came out and just straight pointed the barrel at me and then shot me and told me, get away from here. Lucky it didn't hit me, it hit the tablet.
You're looking at several different charges because you just cannot fire a weapon at a human for absolutely no reason, no threat involved.
Now, police say by the time they arrived at the scene, the homeowner was gone. The salesman, who works for an energy company, says he's done door-to-door sales for 10 years now, and nothing like this has ever happened before.
Well, back here in Central Texas, Hays County announced today its health department has created a behavioral health coordinator position specifically to address mental health and substance abuse outside of the criminal justice system. The Hays County Health Department manager says this position will address mental health disparities, but also develop a roadmap for how the county addresses mental health into the future.
We'll meet the Paralympic hopeful who has led a challenging life since birth, how his strong will and determination are fueling him on his journey to Paris.
And hear the bizarre 911 call that led police to find a very unexpected guest at an apartment complex in Florida. The largest ever survey of transgender Americans shows most have found higher satisfaction in life after transitioning.
Now, the survey gained over 92,000 responses, and according to the early results, 94% of respondents say they were more satisfied with life after transitioning. 3% reported less satisfaction. Also, 48% reported having a negative experience or being refused service by a healthcare provider. 11% reported losing a job because they came out. And 60% of respondents between the ages of 16 and 17 said school staff, teachers, and peers have mistreated them due to their gender identity.
This report also named Texas as one of 10 states that transgender people have left because of state laws targeting them. The survey's director said, quote, currently we are tracking over 300 bills just this year, so we can only assume that the problem is getting worse and more people are actually following through with the migration. The survey team says they plan to make state-specific reports available later on this year.
Well, if you thought it was a little warm today, you are not mistaken. We made it to 76, Austin's warmest day in a week and a half, but we won't be this warm again for at least the next week. We're timing out weekend rain right after this.
Well, some people inspire us with words, others do it with their actions. Para swimmer Noah Jaffe is doing both in his quest for Paralympic gold.
As Jack Doles reports, in this week's journey to Paris, cerebral palsy certainly cannot stop Jaffe.
At some point, every world-class athlete is going to face adversity. It could be an injury. It could be a really difficult workout. But for Noah Jaffe, it comes in the form of cerebral palsy.
It can be hard sometimes, but I don't think it's something I would say I'm tired of, just because it's my life.
To see him power his way through a 3-mile workout, you'd hardly know he had a disability.
I know I have like my own unique set of challenges, but I've lived this way my whole life, so like why limit myself?
His performance at the World Championships proves that. In his first international meet, Noah won a gold, silver, and 2 bronze medals.
I think going in, I really had no expectations, and I think that was really helpful. I just gave it my all in every race.
I know you said you went there with no expectations, but I would imagine now there are expectations. Do you embrace those?
I think definitely having those credentials gives me a lot of confidence.
To prepare for the Paralympic trials, Noah moved to Colorado Springs to train full-time at the Olympic Training Center. He also took a gap year from college. He's a biochemistry major at Cal Berkeley.
It was a really big decision. I kind of struggled with it. I went back and forth. Ultimately, I knew I needed a place to really focus in, and the facilities here and having a coach that really knows me as a Paralympic athlete, it's been really amazing.
His life has been a challenge from day one, but as Noah has shown time and again, his ability is greater than his disability. In Colorado Springs, I'm Jack Doles reporting.
Incredible stuff there. Well, looking ahead to the 2026 Winter Olympics, organizers of the Winter Games in Italy have now revealed the official mascots this week. The Stoat siblings, named Tina and Milo, were unveiled with less than 2 years to go before the Milano Cortina Games begin. Tina there, the light-coated Stoat, is the official mascot for the Winter Olympics, while her brown-coated brother, Milo, is the mascot for the Winter Paralympics. The names are diminutives of those 2 host cities, Tina for Cortina, Milo for Milano. And I highly encourage you to look up a video of a real Stoat. They are so cute. The Olympics in Italy are scheduled to run from February 6th to the 22nd of 2026 before the Paralympics take place from March 6th to the 15th.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist David Yeomans.
Well, let's get you the big updates in your forecast before you get your weekend going. Here's what you need to know. Rain develops starting overnight in the hill country. Now, tomorrow we do have a change. Not only rain in the morning, but periods of storms possible all day, even in the Austin area. Also, a new development after some rain very early Sunday morning. The rest of the day actually looks great. Could be good news for your backyard Super Bowl watch party, which really looks quite pleasant right now. Right now, it's not that pleasant outside. It's hazy, it's humid, and it's gray. 74 right now in Austin with clouds streaming in, but just an isolated shower expected this evening. Switching over to your water vapor imagery, look to the west. You can see this huge dip in the jet stream with several different spinning low pressures all heading toward the Four Corners and eventually our way. This is why we've got some rain and even the possibility of some severe thunderstorms here in our weekend forecast. New development today. On Saturday, all of us are just in this dark green 1 out of 5 risk of a severe storm, and our eastern counties in a slim 1 out of 5 threat early Sunday morning. Any of these storms could have hail, wind damage, or even an isolated tornado, but I don't want to raise too many red alarm bells. This is going to be very isolated and kind of a slim threat overall, as it looks right now. This evening, we've got that little boundary up near Burnett with a couple isolated showers along it. Overall, I'm thinking dry, cloudy weather for about all of our Friday evening plans. Overnight, though, watching the hill country, the first rain starts to develop with a few rumbles of thunder by morning. A couple light showers can't be ruled out in Austin for your morning jog, so keep that in mind. The rain gets a little more widespread, though, and a little heavier from midday through tomorrow evening. A boundary moves into the hill country with strong to severe storms possible along it, then moves into the Austin area and eastern counties during the afternoon and evening. Now, even though this computer model is not getting terribly excited about any big storms blowing up along the boundary, some of our other computer models are a little more aggressive, and we're going to have to watch those very closely during your Saturday afternoon and dinner plans. Easiest way for you to stay up to date, watch us on KXAN, KXAN.com, or even easier, grab our free KXAN weather app. After that first round is gone, early Sunday morning, here's a quick-hitting, mean line of storms. It'll be in the Austin area before you wake up, exiting our eastern counties before sunrise. Then, as I mentioned, dry, warm west winds blowing in. Really lovely rest of the day Sunday, although a little isolated shower can't totally be ruled out. I think we should be dry for your plans, though, after sunrise. Rain totals between now and Sunday night, an inch or two from I-35 westward where the heavy storms set up. The rest of us, though, from Austin southeastward can expect lighter totals than that. Tonight, 63, warm and muggy with some rain first developing in the hill country. Tomorrow, keep your weather app on hand, 69, few periods of thunderstorms, and some of them could be severe. After that, rain clears out by sunrise Sunday, 71 on a beautiful afternoon. Then the cool, windy weather blows in early next week. Another round of cooler, wet weather expected by the end of next week. We'll be right back.
The kickoff to the big game is getting closer and closer. In fact, we're taking a live look here in Las Vegas where the excitement has been building. Fans from across the country are there with or without tickets. As NBC's Jay Gray shows us, many are just there to get a taste of the atmosphere.
Good evening and welcome to the NFL Experience. It is a massive football fun house, interactive games, so much memorabilia and so much to see. We're going to take you in the locker room right now, and to do that, you've got to go through the video tunnel. Clips from some of the greatest games, some of the greatest players over the years. It's amazing to see. And now you walk into what is the locker room, all set up like an NFL locker room, and you can see everything in place here. Look, you've got Dak Prescott, not at the game this weekend. You've got Saquon Barkley, again, not at the game this weekend. You've got Jalen Hurts, but it's all set up like you would see in their locker rooms if you went inside. And this just part of what you can experience here. What a good time for so many people, hundreds of thousands who will come through this during Super Bowl week. Just one of the parties, one of the events going on in Las Vegas, hosting the big game for the first time, and it seems like it's a city built for this. That's the latest from here in Las Vegas. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
911, do you need police, fire, or medical?
I guess police. There's a kangaroo in my apartment complex.
Yes, a kangaroo, not your typical kind of house guest. Police in Florida released this video of a loose kangaroo who broke into the pool area of a Tampa apartment complex. Now you can see the kangaroo hopping along the pool deck as police monitor it from outside the fence. The sheriff's office's agricultural unit eventually captured the jumper and reunited it with its owner. Florida law allows keeping kangaroos as pets as long as someone has the proper permits and licenses.
Well, we've got more animal news for you here today. A Texas lizard is back from the brink of extinction, no longer considered an endangered species. This is good news coming from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The plateau spot-tailed earless lizard is native to the Edwards Plateau area of Texas and has been on the endangered species list since 2010 when a petition was filed to protect the lizard species. Now this week the lizard was removed from the endangered species list after several thriving populations were found in Central and West Texas. Going in depth, this is not the first time a Texas species has been removed from that list. Last year, the Plains spotted skunk was removed from the endangered species list, and in 2020, one of the smallest species of rattlesnake, the desert Massasauga, was also removed.
All right, well, coming up tonight on KXAN, we have a new transplant at 7 o'clock, followed by a new Dateline at 8 o'clock, and then we're back with KXAN News at 10.
Or you can join us 1 hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 over on the CW Austin. Here's where to find us: over the air or through your television provider.